Dumelang, it's a beautiful Friday night and welcome to another edition of Trendz Live. This is what's coming up on the show. We kick-started at the Fashion Meets Gospel Show, an artistic blend bringing together a presentation of spectacular South African clothes and gospel music on the runway. We then touch base at Joburg Art, where various creatives, galleries, as well as collectors celebrate African inspiration and innovation through unique pieces. Are you a sneakerhead? Then this one is for you. Tshidiso Motlhabane revamps worn-out sneakers by splattering paint and applying base to make the shoes look brand new. And finally, we explore dashings of color and radiance through the beauty of the Clivia, a proudly South African plant cherished by various cultures for its spirit-lifting properties and, of course, its extraordinary attraction. There's more to come, so stay tuned as we serve you only the best in lifestyle and all things edutainment.
Oh yes, it's a feel-good Friday. It's a beautiful Friday. Coming to you live from Auckland Park, Johannesburg. Welcome to Trendz Live on SABC News. I'm Tshidiso, but you can call me Mne, and tonight is another installment of lifestyle and music entertainment. Please do drop us a mention on X and tell us how your spring has been going, and maybe even show us those spring outfits. Our handle is at Trendz on SABC. Listen, so much to do, so little time, but I promise you we're going to get through it all. We'll kickstart the show this evening with some musical fashion. The east of Joburg came to a buzz as everyone dressed for the occasion and geared up for some praise at an event which fuses gospel and fashion. Trendz Live producer Tshidiso was in the midst of greatness with an unusual yet festive gathering. Have a look.
Who would have thought fashion and gospel would blend in so beautifully together? The Fashion Meets Gospel Show was one for the books. Color, smiles, confidence, pride, and a vibe like no other. And we were there basking in the moment the best way we know how, by celebrating. The Holy Spirit was definitely present. Spectacular artists such as Zaza Mokheti shook up the atmosphere in song and dance. She took us to church while everyone looked absolutely fabulous. This combination, top tier. I spoke to some designers who take complete pride in their work and were really excited to be here. Their emphasis was also on what an amazing opportunity this was for them. Listen, every single person showed up, ate, and left no crumbs.
My darling, first thing first, it's my first time to be here. I was so excited when I got an invite that we are invited as a fashion style designer. I'm also a fashion designer. So this is me. I just made it today morning. I saw so many designers, so many outfits, so many people, spotlights. I'm impressed.
The Tshidiso collection showcased their work. They are an African luxury brand that focuses mainly on African print. We find out a little more about them.
We create fabrics that is inspired by tradition and African culture and inspirational stories that are rooted in people and the history.
I think this is my first time actually doing a runway. I'm usually not considered for runway because I am shorter than normal. So just being chosen and walking the runway and walking it with confidence in a brand that's so amazing meant a lot to me.
Higher power actually exceeds everything. This for me, it was like, okay, validation, you are still okay. And because we go through a lot as young people.
Various fashionistas, different styles, so much talent and creativity. Most of these guys made their outfits themselves. It's giving no DNA, just RSA. We thrive.
This is my first time at a Fashion Meets Gospel event and I love it. Never thought that gospel and fashion would merge so beautifully. And the inspiration, they said pastels and I had this lace lying around and I was like, Perfect. And it's the Garden of Eden, so flowers bonus.
It's been amazing. Lindani never disappoints. It's been amazing. The performances have been amazing. The designers, guys. South Africa is not only talented in the music space, but also just creatively.
The moment I had fashion meets gospel, I remembered the chapter, Matthew chapter 6, verse 28, which highlights how humans worry about what they will wear, what they will do, while flowers grow without worry. And I came up with this overnight and I did it myself.
I don't like color a lot, so I was very confused. But when as soon as I saw this, I was like, I'm gonna have to make something out of this. And I'm very happy with what I have with the product.
Pastel was the theme, and it was the Garden of Eden. I couldn't have spent my day anywhere else. What a superb heritage South Africans have created for themselves. Every chance we get, we will pray, we will sing, and we will dance. What a joyous occasion.
Happy Heritage Month!
Oh, I love it. It's incredible. Listen, we're doing a lot of fashion fusions today because we're going on to a fusion of fashion and heritage. All the way from our bordering African country, Zimbabwe, the I Wear My Culture highlights fashion designers who showcase clothing that represents heritage with modern aesthetics. A few of the designers took center stage and spoke about the significance of their fabrics, fashion sense, and of course, African pride. Zimbabwean fashion designer Penelope Lacha took to the spotlight at the event. Have a look.
A fashion show in the capital of Bulawayo, showcasing truly Zimbabwean fashion, yet also integrating other cultures and trends. Fashion designer Penelope Lacha took the spotlight at the 4th edition of the event. Her love for fashion designing started at a tender age with what seemed as just play.
I've always been into fashion, always. I was, the kind of kid who would take her clothes and cut them up. I used to get into trouble for it, actually. I'd cut them up and sew them with a needle. That was when I was young. So I think it's always been a passion for me. So I feel like fashion is the strongest storyteller because the way we dress this is something that we do every day. People perceive, you dress how you want to be addressed. So if you want to communicate, the best way that you can pass a message to the next person is through how you dress. So fashion is the biggest tool for all that, basically.
Lacha also emphasized the importance of not being stereotyped and willing to explore other cultures.
Basically, in Zim, we're always so limited. Like, okay, we think that there's only Shona and Ndebele culture. But through this program, I've realized that there's so many other cultures. Like personally, I've been working on my assignment was the Ndau culture, and I had to dive deeply into their culture to know about their way of life, how they started, their way of dressing, what influences them, So basically, that's how I think I Wear My Culture has been impacting my life so far.
So what stood out was everyone's collection was different, and what I liked was each and every designer had their own story to tell. So it was all unique, and I must say there's like amazing talent in Zimbabwe and it should go to the world.
Backstage, models were carefully fitted and styled, creating a dynamic atmosphere as designers prepared their interpretations of traditional tribal motifs. Throughout the evening gala, 16 designers curated by Gilmo Kumalo, supported by the British Council, presented collections inspired by a diverse range of Zimbabwean tribes that are shared across southern Africa. These tribes included isiNdebele, Sotho, Shona, Tonga, Shangani, Ndau, Kalanga, and Sena.
We wanted to spotlight and celebrate the people that coexist here in Zimbabwe, those that make this country beautiful. So it was just that to say, listen, let's spotlight and celebrate Ubuntu basically. The cross-pairing designers with cultures outside of those that they belong to was important in the fact that when we live in this global community, and not just Zimbabwe actually, we coexist with other people from different parts of ethnic groups, tribal groups, countries and things like that. And when we're talking about Ubuntu, which is I am because you are, Umuntu Umuntu Ngabantu, it simply means that I need to be aware of those that I coexist with.
We had such a wonderful day showcasing designers from across Zimbabwe. These designers have gone through a program called I Wear My Culture, where they had to go into different tribes and to look for different symbols and different stories from those tribes and translate the stories into designs. So today, this evening, this has been the culmination of all the hard work that they have done.
The aim of the show was to also foster unity and eradicate stereotypes through fashion. And indeed, it seemed that many were not only inspired, but reminded of the true beauty of how African fashion also embraces and celebrates our unique cultures and heritage. Now that's fashion intended to make a real difference through fashion storytelling.
Ah, don't you just love heritage and culture? It truly is storytelling. In the spirit of Heritage Month, we are now treating you to a special performance. He's collaborated with numerous renowned South African artists, including Simpiwe Dana and the late Gloria Bossman. But listen, that's not where he stops, because his resume boasts performances in Lion King and Gumboot's musical. Tonight, he's in Trendz live studio. He's gracing us with his lovely musical performances. I'm talking about the South African musician Mabeleng Moholo, who uses a number of indigenous music instruments, giving us lovely melodies that soothe the soul and give us a sense of connection. He is in the building, about to give us the time of our lives. Here he is now. Enjoy. Welcome back to the show. You're still watching Trendz live on SABC News. Now, this weekend, we're turning the spotlight on one of Johannesburg's most anticipated cultural celebrations. It's the Basha Uhuru Musical Festival. It's known for bringing together the best in music and art, fashion, and youth culture. Now, this festival has grown into a vibrant platform for creativity and self-expression. In studio tonight, we're joined by Ops Manager Bandile Fagute to talk to us about what we can look forward to this year's festival. Bandile, welcome to Trendz Live.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hey, I'm sure the excitement is brewing in you ahead of tomorrow.
The excitement, the nerves, everything.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Listen, let's chat about it. For somebody who doesn't know about Basha Uhuru, the festival, what was the story behind it?
13 years ago, we decided that our museum needs a bit of a kick, and it needs to attract more young people. We came up and conceptualized Basha Uhuru, Basha meaning young people, Uhuru meaning united. So it's Basha Uhuru, it's Basha, young people coming together. This festival commemorates the youth of 1976. But as we went on in life, we just thought to ourselves, that day not only sparked a big part of activism within young people, but it also sparked a creative renaissance and an artistic renaissance. People wrote about the day, people did paintings about the day, people wrote songs about the day. So we had a festival that focuses on commemorating the youth of 1976 and celebrating the freedom of creative expression, because that's creativity, and our creatives are today's freedom fighters. So Basha Uhuru is all about that, celebrating creative expression.
Oh, I love the fact that you mentioned that it sparked a cultural renaissance. It's incredible. And especially because Basha Uhuru has become a cultural moment in Joburg, you know.
Definitely.
But chat to me about what makes it so different from other festivals, because, you know, we've got a lot of festivals that commemorate 1976, that speak to who we are as South Africans. What sets Basha Uhuru apart?
Basha Uhuru is not only about, it's not a day, it's not a party today, or it's not a, we're hosting a film festival on that day or whatever, but Basha Uhuru is a movement. Basha Uhuru is all about the development of the arts, the development of the creative industry. It's a long year-round movement. We speak about creativity at Constitution Hill every day. It's part of our mandate. Basha Uhuru is a signature event, but also a signature initiative. It actually gave birth to our creative hub. We have over 30 creatives in one of our buildings with who we work with, developmental work with, market access, and all those kind of things. So Basha Uhuru is not just an event that you find right now and then it moves over, you see it again next year.
Yeah.
So it's about the industry. It's a year-round commemorative, but also a year-round initiative to enhance the creative industries around Joburg.
Oh, I love that. Bandile, you are the operations manager. When you look back over the years, how do you think that the festival has evolved, not just in terms of the music, but the overall experience? And then maybe you can also tell me about some of your highlights from last year.
Yeah, I think the festival started as a one-day thing. The festival grew to a week-long thing. So we were focusing on music on the day, but now we've included the arts, the fine arts, we have exhibitions. We've got a film festival. We hosted a film festival the second time now with Mabato Monso, who is a big producer, a female producer in South Africa. We've hosted a lot of talks, the creative conference, where we bring around all of these creatives to share networking ideas, to share a lot of insight within the creative industry. I think one thing that stands out for me is that I keep saying we're not just a festival, but also we have, for the past 4 years, we've been celebrating and honoring artists. We've got the Basha Uhuru Legacy Award, because again, we are about commemorating. Last year it was received by Trendz, and then we also honored Tab. I think that was my very much highlight in this whole entire thing, because that was his first music award that he received at Basha Uhuru. This year, we're focusing on Boom Shaka. Boom Shaka is going to be receiving the Basha Uhuru Legacy Award.
Ah, man, if only Lebu was here to
If
be
only
on
Lebu
that
was
stage.
here. Yeah.
Ah, speaking of artists, because I mean, look, it's a big part. The music is a big part, and this is always the part that people want to know. Let's chat about the lineup. Who is on the lineup this year? Who are we looking forward to?
Our lineup this year, people are saying it's quite very different. But that's what is Basha's not only it's not a music genre focused. This is Joburg, this is the melting pot of Africa. So we focus, it's multi-genre. So we've got Pabi, Kupa, Kuli Chana, and Lamiz. And also introducing a new genre on the Basha Uhuru stage. We've got Mtandeni. So we've got Mtandeni coming in. So we're bringing in quite a lot of energy, quite a lot of catering to different people.
Yeah.
And then dropping it out is also Boom Shaka, they're going to be performing their iconic hits.
I love it. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly, look, we know that the festival celebrates freedom of expression and creativity. How does this year's theme carry that message forward?
This year's theme looks into next year, actually. It's the 50th anniversary of the 1976 June Uprising. And we're looking at, it's going to be a year of reflection. How far has the creative industries gone? How far has its impact been? And also the recognition of the industry as a proper industry. Someone said, gone are the days where creatives are called to sing the national anthem. This is a business. This needs a platform. It needs development. It needs to be heard. So that's how this year it is. This year we're focusing on how far has the creative industry gone. So for me, that's what stands out.
It's incredible. Bandile, before I let you go, in about 30 seconds, really, for somebody who's never attended Basha Uhuru before, why should I make this my first one?
It's energy. It's energy. It's got its own dress code. It's also one of a few events that are hosted at a World Heritage Site. Constitution Hill is a World Heritage Site. It's all about experience. From the time you walk in, the environment on its own, quite an educational space, iconic space. We've just seen a landmark case right now being handed down at the Constitutional Court. That's what Constitution Hill is about. So you come in, it's more than just music, connection, energy, and color, and what Joburg is about.
It's incredible. Bandile, I love it. It's exhilarating, it's cultural, it's enrooted in our veins, it speaks to who we are. All the best for the festival. Cannot wait to see everything else that happens around it. So sad I can't be there, but hey, it is what it is. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
We love it. Now, from festivals to enchanting plants that uplift our spirits while bringing color that turn winter blues into a thing of the past. You might have spotted them blooming everywhere, but did you know that the Clivia is a proudly South African plant cherished by various cultures for its medicinal properties and, of course, flamboyance? Trendz producer Dintle Mokeleti took to Hyde Park Corner's Clivia display to explore the beauty of this extraordinary plant. Have a look.
As blooming flowers everywhere welcome a new season, Clivias are also showing off their flair. Meet Andre Swart, a revered farmer and Clivia grower who emphatically describes the rare collector plants as endearing. This especially as they are endemic to South Africa.
They grow in the Eastern Cape, they grow in KwaZulu-Natal, and some of them grow up in the north of Leboa, near Barberton and God's Window. The Clivias that are in other countries now have been exported about 200 years ago. We are blessed with wonderful nature. We are blessed with high day temperatures and not too low night temperatures. And that's where Clivias flourish, as in woods, on rocky mountains and in cliffs.
Clivias have an intriguing historical and South African heritage background. Besides being an enthralling sight, they also have medicinal properties and can be used as traditional gems.
The name of Clivias came from a Lady Clive of England, who sponsored the first trip to Southern Africa about 200 years ago to go and explore for new plants. And when the botanists discovered this plant, they honored Lady Clive of England by naming it after her. We also call them bush lilies in English. We call them bos lilies in Afrikaans. We call them umayime in the Nguni languages, and we call them Xhosa buloi in the Sotho languages. Actually, I have to share a secret with you. In ancient times, when a person's cattle die in his village, he would go to the Sangoma and ask for advice. The Sangoma will let the bones speak, and then he'll tell the person that your neighbor is jealous of you. That's why your cattle are dying. And this is the medicine, and that is part of a clivia that he chopped up and dried like tea. He would sell that to his client, and that person would go back to his cattle kraal, and he will break the spell.
They make excellent gifts, yeah, because they keep blooming every year. They just make you bloom from inside. The colors are really beautiful. There are light ones, there are darker ones, there are bronze, darker colors like a burnt orange. This is the range of colors you really need to plant in abundance in your garden.
Excited about the medicinal, emotional and psychological properties of these amazing plants, we now walk into the display for Andre to tell us a bit more about their shapes, colors and sizes. Let's go, Andre.
Let's go. You'll see these are very dainty orchid-like plants. You'll see it's a light pastel-colored clivia with a yellowish throat inside. Some people are crazy for these kind of clivias. This is another beautiful thing. Have a look at the green inside, which is very special.
Andre, some you call double clivia. What are those and how do they look?
There's an example of a good double. This is an emerging double. It's the first flower of a seedling. It's just coming out there. You see there's a flower, and there's a flower coming out, and there's a flower inside that's also still coming out.
So it's flowers within flowers.
Yes, this is a species. They do their job as they are. They attract the pollinator drinks the nectar, and it flies to the next plant. Whereas these, the pollinators are up there and they attract them with the color from above.
Oh, I love flowers because they're colorful, they just bring joy. And also growing up in a house full of plants because my mom was just that woman, I think I took from her. So I can't help myself with this one.
I just bought the Minginyata Clivia because of its vibrant orange color, and I love the fact how even though it's all part of one species, every single plant is its own individual, which is extremely fascinating.
In Germany, a lady said to me, they call the Clivia the granny plant. I asked her, no, why do you call it the granny plant? And she said, Andre, the mother plant is kept by the granny, and when it makes a pup or an offset, that offset goes to the oldest of her granddaughters. And if it makes another pup, it goes to the second oldest granddaughter. And that plant at the granddaughter becomes the granny plant again for the next generation. Clivias live for very long. They will outlive me and you.
Clivia plants, inspirational evidence of how nature replenishes itself to bring radiance and beauty to our environments and, of course, our daily lives.
It is incredible, so beautiful also. My goodness me. Listen, we're going to take a quick ad break. When we come back, it's more of Trendz Live. Stick around. Welcome back to Trendz Live on SABC News. Remember, our handle on X is @Trendz on SABC. Now, Johannesburg is buzzing with creativity as the city once again plays host to Joburg Art Fair, a space where African stories are told through paint, sculpture, photography, and so much more. The Art Fair is a platform that connects locals and international audiences to the voices that are shaping the continent's creative future.
Across the city of Johannesburg, creativity takes center stage. Artists, galleries, and collectors unite to celebrate the richness of African expression. The Joburg Art Fair was where the continent's artistic voices found their canvas.
When we reimagined the fair about 5 years ago, it was just before COVID.
little did we know that we would go into COVID. So we had actually done all the work in terms of our repositioning in the market, keeping it very highly curated and making it more of an experience versus you attending a trade show. I personally don't like trade shows, but we really wanted to make sure that it becomes an immersive experience, that the art quality that you see here must be of the highest standards. It's very natural for us to find very established galleries with young emerging galleries. In fact, the fair is curated in such a way that you would not be able to tell the difference because we are celebrating on one floor and we're celebrating talent. And the idea was that you could have both young and old as equal on the floors, which has really worked out so beautifully that audiences can't tell the difference between young and old. They just see talent.
Amongst the artists featured at this year's fair is Zandile Chabalala, whose work captures both the strength and vulnerability of a female. Her work stands as both a celebration of identity and a challenge to how women are represented in art.
Currently, the studio is very sparkly. It's very sparkly, but my creative process generally is I draw a lot from my personal life. So currently this body of work is inspired by my journey of becoming a mom. I was pregnant not too long ago. I have my little baby. And this is the work that came from that journey. I wanted to look at it from a personal, mental, spiritual perspective. And just to speak on that rest, that isolation period, that forces that are bigger than you coming together to form this little being, you know, nurturing an internal garden and being in bloom. So that's what this work was about.
At the art fair, galleries play a vital role in bringing artists' vision to life. In conversation with Ora Luapi, a gallery owner and gallerist, we explore the journey of representing Kotsanani Katerere, an artist whose work speaks boldly to themes of identity and belonging.
We're obviously based in Gaborone, Botswana, but our pedagogy and our methodology in terms of exhibition is far more regional. Obviously the borders are man-made. There are shared histories and shared connections that we have that seeps through the artworks that we produce, from the Shonas and the Kalangas to the Bedis, Tswanas, Lozis, Sotos. So we really look at that repertoire of shared histories in our exhibitions and our model. And we find it connects us in terms of our humanity as well. And we lean more into that rather than away from it.
For many who came to the art fair, it was more than just viewing art, but about connection, reflection, and inspiration. Attendees shared how creativity on display left them in amazement and how the moments inside shall linger long after they leave.
It takes things that we see every day and puts it in such a different light, such a different context, such a different perspective, that it changes your thinking about it. Something that you see every single day could be depicted so beautifully that you start to realize the beauty in it as you see it.
I think it's just eye-opening. Like I said, my friend inspired me to come here, so seeing how people's minds work through art is really inspiring for me, and it just helps me open up a new portal in my mind.
The piece on the helper depicted as a ballerina. The reason why I'm finding that quite inspirational is because it takes something that we see every day and puts it in a completely different context. Like the strength and grace of our helpers who carry our families, who carry our homes every single day in such a beautiful and graceful way, but we don't always see it that way. So I think it's a nice depiction, a very different take on something that's available to us every day, a very different type of appreciation.
So beautiful. On to this now. From sneakers to high heels, his signature paint splatter artistry has turned everyday footwear into statement pieces loved by celebrities and trendsetters across the country. Known as the shoe mechanic, Tshidiso Motlhabane has proven that with passion and discipline, even a pair of shoes can become a masterpiece. Let's step into the shoes of this trailblazer.
Taung-born Tshidiso Motlhabane is no ordinary shoe customizer. An LLB graduate, he swapped the courtroom for creativity, breathing new life into worn shoes and turning them into vibrant work of art.
I see myself as an artist, right? But how this came about, I didn't see myself as an artist, as artistic. I just saw an opportunity, and at first, I just told myself, I'm gonna learn how this works. This is self-taught, by the way, and the good thing about it was I took my time. At first, I messed up a lot of shoes. Fortunately, I started off with family shoes, my cousins and stuff. Then I went back to the drawing board, did research. Mostly what helped me was YouTube. I believe that my artistic touch towards the whole work, the touch, what will represent me is how I do my splatters on the shoe. What I've mastered is how I balance colors. It's not just throwing paint around, but the way there's a way I do it, and that's what a lot of people don't pick up. I don't just wake up and splatter paint. When the shoe is bright, I have a way of toning it down, and then when the shoe is kind of like bright, I know how to balance colors.
Tshidiso has built his following without big budgets because he's always made shoes his business from day one.
In high school, but whenever they give me like certain amount, like monthly allowance, I'd always lay by a shoe. Like some of Nekesa without probably like having a shoe lay by. I'd always try to look for something that's quite unique. I'd always try to appear different from my peers.
The magic of before and after transformation has retained his clientele, with more customers captivated by his creations.
Remember, there are people that collect shoes, that have been collecting shoes for years. You'll find a person sitting with pairs close to 100 pairs, and they don't know what to do with them, but they're still in good condition. It's just that they've lost color, or they just want to give the shoe a vibe.
That signature style caught the attention of a shopping center, which gave him space as part of their recycling campaign.
Basically, we're giving back to local businesses. So Tshidiso is one of our artists, together with Debucho, and Tara together with Douglas. So we found a total of 4 artists who we're embracing in our shopping center as part of going green, recycling, and giving back to the community. We went for recycling, we went for culture, we went for tradition, stuff that blends in with basically everybody. So the campaign itself is exciting for us. We are very impressed by the work that they've put in, the connections that we've actually built through the campaign itself. So we're quite excited together with the team and just to embrace the companies as well.
I pray that I have my business running from a store and also collaborate with sneaker brands. Or whenever I post, I tag the sneaker brand, most sneaker brands, and they do react,
As a self-confessed and proclaimed shoe lover, I say Pambili, Tshidiso Pambili. We're going to take an ad break. We're back with more of Trendz Live straight after this. Stick around. Welcome back to Trendz Live on SABC News. Now, migration of Japa, as it's known in Nigeria, has become one of the most talked about issues for young people. Now, a Lagos actor and comedian is bringing that debate to the stage with a one-man play that captures the dreams, struggles, and tough choices of a generation. Let's find out how he does it.
In Lagos, actor and comedian Segun Ogundipe takes the stage with his one-man play, Iloya, the story of a young graduate torn between staying in Nigeria or leaving for greener pastures. The 70 minutes performance strikes a chord in a country where Japa, mass migration, dominates daily conversations.
I just want people to actually see that psychological, impact, or should I say, how humans are saddled in making decisions that are not necessarily what they would have made if things were perhaps within their control.
The play also reflects on how migration has shifted from opportunity to necessity.
It talks a lot clearly about, how how talents have been moved, the brain drain, those days it was called brain drain. Now it's Japa. Those days they were paying people to move. Now people are paying to move.
For some in the audience, the story feels personal.
I really don't blame people who make up their minds and say no, they are done, they have to move. There's some people who are quite, tenacious. They still stay there because there's the dream and they still believe in it. We are all made of different stuff. You get? So I wouldn't blame anyone. I wouldn't blame anyone who makes the decision to move on, to not, just for something better.
Ogudimpe calls it a backpack theatre, a show he can carry anywhere. It has already traveled to South Africa and the UK with more stops ahead.
Comedy is a very good platform, a good place, to actually dish out some of the serious, conversations. If you ask me, and I remember one of my teachers back in school said to him that feels life is tragedy, to him that think life is comedy. So if you really want to discuss things that really bothers us, perhaps comedy is the way to actually give it that soft landing.
After 3 years in the making, Iloya doesn't offer easy answers, but it holds a mirror up to a nation at a crossroads.
The importance of reflection. That's unfortunately all we have time for this evening. But fear not, we're back again next week Friday, same time, exclusive to SABC News. Playing us out is another performance by the incomparable Mabeleng Moholo. I'm Tshidiso, but you can call me Mne. From myself and the rest of the team, from our hearts to yours, have a great weekend. Au revoir, bye-bye.
Modimo wa lesedi wa ramoloki Modimo a ko utlwe ra rapela Modimo motjha rapela wa kgale o rapele moholo jere mojari wa ditshito tsa batho Modimo o atla le magagoa a tla di robekiwe ka go shwella a tla di tshweu tsa ramoloki di tshweu di re ruta go ba pasea manyenyane di bokothwana bonkgono ba lela matlala ba tla bona ka di tshwetsanyana di shwele ba tla bona pakeng tsa mabitla metsi a ntsha dikeledi tsa Maria lesedi kganya Unoibeleka